y'all. Shalom.
Did you ping me, Saul?
Yeah, always ping. Read from.
Okay, you getting ready to read, aren't you?
Yup, yup. I pushed it back a couple hours because
You
that,
you know what? I was like, I'm in here, but it's past my bedtime. I've been up a long time. What time? Oh, it's only 9:39. It seemed like I've been up a long time. Probably because I missed that one night. So I want to read, but I cut my light off and everything. So what am I gonna do? So y'all gonna kick me down because I can't read?
you don't got a flashlight.
So I have one, but not by my bed. Let me see. Maybe I got
You can just read
so
the bed. It's all good. It's all
okay. Mm-hmm. Which one me do you want me to drop down?
right. Yeah, you good. If you want to drop down, you good. We'll just read till you fall asleep.
Okay, because I'm gonna probably be asleep real fast here. I tell you, it's been a big day. It's been
Yeah,
a big
yeah.
day.
Necessary day though. It's all good.
I think it was good. I don't have any complaints, but it's been a big day. And my eyes are kind of like burning, but I probably should read something. So let me read mine first. I'm gonna get up and turn on the light. What do we? Oh, I don't have to ask, do I? This is Samuel reading part one. Okay, chapter one of Samuel's. What you talking about? Is it Samuel, the first chapter, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay. I mean, First Samuel, the first chapter. Okay, let me get up so I can turn this on. Hold on, just a moment, please.
Shalom, Tori.
Hey, Shalom. I thought I can help and read a chapter before I start driving.
Bet, bet. You want? How long you got?
I can wait for to Sister Adia go first or something. It's no real rush. I just wanted to contribute because I mean, when y'all read the Torah, it helped me get through the day because I be sometimes at work, so it's nice to hear actual people reading instead of listening to a an audio Bible sometimes. So.
I feel you on that. I'm pulling it up now, guys.
Peace and blessings to the room.
Peace and blessings.
Well, I can't say blessings because it means be blessed. I meant peace and love to the room.
You can always say blissful.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Shalom, Michael. Let me see. First Samuel chapter one. I got it. This is what I'm reading, right? Brother
Con.
Saul. Okay. Let me get my eyes together, y'all. Let me see. The reading of First Samuel chapter 1. Now there was a certain man of Ramath, Ramathozophim, is a Ramatham Sophim of Mount Ephraim, and his name was Elkanah, the son of Jeroham, the son of Elu, the son of Tohu, the son of Zupha, and the son and Ephrathite. No, Ephrath. What is that? Ephraite? Yeah, I'm messing it up, guys. I'm sorry. And he had two wives. The name of one was Hannah, and the name of the other was Peninnah. And Peninnah had children, but Hannah had no children. And this man went up out of his city yearly to worship and to sacrifice unto Yah of hosts in Shiloh. And the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, the priests of Yah, were there. And when the time was that Elkanah offered, he gave to Peninnah his wife and to all her sons and her daughters portions. But unto Hannah he gave a worthy portion, for he loved Hannah. But Yah had shut up her womb. And her adversary also provoked her sore, for to make her fret, because Yah had shut up her womb. And as he did so year by year, when she went up to the house of Yah, so she provoked her. Therefore she wept and did not eat. Then said Elkanah her husband to her, Hannah, why weepest thou? And why eatest thou not? And why is thy heart grieved? Am not I better to thee than 10 sons? So Hannah rose up after she had eaten in Shiloh, and after they had drunk. Now Eli the priest sat upon a seat by a post of the temple of Yah, and she was in bitterness of soul, and prayed unto Yah, and wept sore. And she vowed a vow, and said, O Yah of hosts, if thou wilt indeed look on the affliction of thy handmaid, and remember me, and not forget thy handmaid, but will give unto thy handmaid a man child, then I will give him unto Yah all the days of his life, and there shall no razor come upon his head. And it came to pass as she continued praying before Yah, that Eli marked her mouth. Now Hannah, she spake in her heart, only her lips moved, but her voice was not heard. Therefore Eli thought she had been drunken. And Eli said unto her, How long wilt thou be drunken? Put away thy wine from thee. And Hannah answered and said, No, my Lord, I am a woman of a sorrowful spirit. I have drunk neither wine nor strong drink, but have poured out my soul before Yah. Count not thy handmaiden for a daughter of Belial, for out of the abundance of my complaint and grief have I spoken hitherto. Then Eli answered and said, Go in peace, and the Elohim of Israel grant thee thy petition that thou hast asked of him. And she said, Let thy handmaid find grace in thy sight. So the woman went her way and did eat, and her countenance was no more sad. And they rose up in the morning early and worshipped before Yah, and returned and came to their house to Ramah. And Elkanah knew Hannah his wife, and Yah remembered her. Wherefore it came to pass when the time was come about after Hannah had conceived, that she bare a son, and called his name Samuel, saying, Because I have asked him of Yah. And the man Elkanah and all his house went up to offer unto Yah the yearly sacrifice and his vow. But Hannah went not up, for she said unto her husband, I will not go up until the child be weaned, and then I will bring him, that he may appear before Yah, and there abide forever. And Elkanah her husband said unto her, Do what seemeth thee good. Tarry until thou hast weaned him. Only Yah establish his word. So the woman abode, and gave her son suck until she weaned him. And when she had weaned him, she took him up with her with 3 bullocks and 1 ephah of flour and a bottle of wine, and brought him into the house of Yah in Shiloh. And the child was young. And they slew a bullock, and brought the child to Eli. And she said, O my Lord, as thy soul liveth, my Lord, I am the woman that stood by thee here, praying unto Yah. For this child I prayed, and Yah has given me my petition, which I asked of him. Therefore also I have lent him to Yah. As long as he liveth, he shall be lent to Yah. And he worshiped the Lord there, or worshiped Yah there. Thus concludes the reading of 1 Samuel chapter 1.
You want to take two, Tori?
Yeah, man, I had to close the door where I'm at because it's the party at my job. And, they got music bumping. All right, it's First Samuel chapter 2, starting from the top. And Hannah prayed and said, My heart exulted in the Lord. My horn is exalted in the Lord. My mouth is enlarged over my enemies, because I rejoice in thy salvation. There is none holy as the Lord, for there is none besides thee, neither is there any rock like our power. Multiply not exceeding proud talk. Let not arrogancy come out of your mouth. For the Lord is a God of knowledge, and by him actions are weighed. The bows of the mighty men are broken, and they that stumble are girded with strength. They that were full have hired out themselves for bread, and they that were hungry have ceased. While the barren hath borne 7, she that had many children hath languished. The Lord killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. The Lord maketh poor and maketh rich. He bringeth low, he also lifteth up. He raiseth up the poor out of the dust, he lifted up the needy from the dunghill, to make them sit with princes, and inherit the throne of glory. For the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, and he hath set the world upon them. He will keep the feet of his holy ones, but the wicked shall be put to silence in darkness. For not by strength shall man prevail. They that strive with the Lord shall be broken to pieces. Against them will he thunder in heaven. The Lord will judge the ends of the earth, and he will give strength unto his king, and exalted the horn of his anointed. Elkanah went to Ramah to his house, and the child did minister unto the Lord before Eli the priest. Now the sons of Eli were base men, they knew not the Lord. And the custom of the priest with the people was that when any man offered sacrifice, the priest's servant came, while the flesh was in season, with a flesh hook of 3 teeth in his band, and he struck it into the pan, or kettle, or cauldron, or pot. All that the flesh hook brought up the priest took therewith. So they did unto all the Israelites that came thither in Shiloh. Yea, before the fat was made to smoke, the priest's servants came, and said to the man that sacrificed, Give flesh to roast for the priest, for he will not have sodden flesh of thee, but raw. And if the man said unto him, Let the fat be made to smoke first of all, and then take as much as thy soul desireth, then he would say, Nay, but thou shalt give it me now, and if not, I will take it by force. And the sin of the young men was very great before the Lord, for the men dealt contemptuously with the offering of the Lord. And Samuel ministered before the Lord, being a child, girded with a linen ephod. Moreover, his mother made him a little robe, and brought it to him from year to year, when she came up with her husband to offer the yearly sacrifice. And Eli would bless Elkanah and his wife, and say, The Lord give thee seed of this woman for the loan which hast lent to the Lord. And they will go unto their own home. So the Lord remembered Hannah, and she conceived, and bore 3 sons and 2 daughters. And the child Samuel grew before the Lord. Now Eli was very old, and he had all that his sons did unto all Israel, and how that they laid with the women that did service at the door of the tent of meeting. And he said unto them, Why do ye such things? For I hear evil reports concerning you from all this people. Nay, my sons, for it is no good report which I hear the Lord's people do spread abroad. If one man sin against another, God shall judge him. But if a man sin against the Lord, who shall entreat for him? But they hearkened not to the voice of their father, because the Lord would slay them. And the child Samuel grew on, and increased in favor both with the Lord and also with men. And there came a man of God unto Eli, and said unto him, Thus saith the Lord, Did I reveal myself unto the house of thy father, when they were in the Egypt, in bondage to the Pharaoh's house? And did I choose him out of all the tribes of Israel to be my priest, to go up unto mine altar, to burn incense, to wear an ephod before me? And did I give unto the house of thy father all the offerings of the children of Israel made by fire? Wherefore kick ye at my sacrifice and mine offering, which I have commanded in my habitation, and honorest thy sons above me, to make yourself fat with the chiefest of all the offerings of Israel my people. Therefore the Lord, the God of Israel, saith, I say indeed that thy house and the house of thy father shall walk before me forever. But now the Lord saith, But far from me, for them that honor me I will honor, and they that despise me shall be lightly esteemed. Behold, the days come that I will cut off thy arm and the arm of thy father's house, that there shall not be an old man in thy house. And thou shalt behold a rival in my habitation, and all the good which shall be done to Israel, and there shall not be an old man in thy house forever. Yet I will cut off every man of thy from my altar, to make thy eyes to fail, and thy heart to languish. And all the increase of the house shall die young men. This shall be the sign unto thee, that which shall come upon thy two sons, on Hophni and Phinehas. In one day they shall die, both of them. And I will raise me up a faithful priest, that shall do according to that which is in my heart and in my mind. And I will build him a house, and shall walk before my anointed forever. And he shall come to pass that everyone that is left in thy house shall come and bow down to him for a piece of silver and a loaf of bread, and shall say, Put me, I pray thee, into one of the priest's offices, that I may eat a morsel of bread. That concludes chapter 2 of First Samuel.
Okay. Do I take three or
Mike can take 3.
okay?
All right. Second Samuel. Wait, no.
We're in First Samuel.
First Samuel, verse 3. First Samuel. All right. First Samuel 3. And the boy Samuel ministered before the Yahweh under Eli in the days in those days the word of Yahweh was roaring. There were there were not many visions. Verse 2. Um One night uh, Eli, while the eye were the eyes were becoming so weak that he had barely see, lying down his in lying down in his u- usual place. The the lamp of Yahweh have not yet gone out, and Samuel was lying down in the house of Yahweh, where the ark of Yahweh was. Then Yahweh called Samuel. Samuel answered, Here I am. He ran to Ali and said, Here I am. You called me. But Ali said, You did not call me. Go back and lie down. So I went and lied down. Verse 6. Again Yahweh called Samuel, and Samuel got up and went to Eli and said, Here I am. You called me. My son, Ali said, I did not call. Go go back and lay down. Verse 7. Samuel did not yet known Yahweh. The word of Yahweh had not yet been revealed to him. Verse 8. A third time Yahweh called Samuel, and Samuel gone up and went to Eli and said, "Here I am. You called me." Then Eli realized that called Yahweh was calling the boy. So Eli told Samuel, "Go and lie down." And he called you. So speak, Yahweh, for from your servant is listening. So Samuel went and lay down in his place. Yahweh came and stood there, calling as the other time, "Samuel, Samuel." Then Samuel said, "Speak, for your servant is listening." And Yahweh to Yahweh said to Samuel, "See, I am about to do something in Israel that will make the ears of everyone who hear about it tingle." Verse 12. At that time I will carry out against Ali everything I spoken against his family, for the beginning to end. For I told him that I told him that I would judge his family forever because of his sins. Because of his sin. He known about his son blasphemed Yahweh, and he failed to restrain them. Verse 14. For them, therefore, I sworn to the house of Eli, the guilt of Eli's house will never be atoned for by sacrifice or offer. Verse 15. Um, Samuel lied down. Samuel lied down until the morning, and then opened the door of the house of Yahweh. He was afraid to tell Ali the vision, but Ali called him and said, "Samuel, my son." Samuel answered, "Here I am. What was it he said to you?" Ali answered, "Do not hide it from me. May Elohim deliver wait, um wait, may Yahweh detail with you. No, DL with you. Be it even sovereign. Wait. Wait. Be it be it every so sovereignly. If you hide from me everything he told you. Samuel told him everything, hiding nothing from him. Ali said, "He is Yahweh. Let him do what is good in his eyes." For Yahweh was with Samuel as he grown up, and none of none of Samuel's words fell to the ground. And all Israel from Dan to Bathsheba re, re, reconciled that um reconciled that Samuel was arrested as a prophet of Yahweh. For Yahweh con- continued to appear at Shiloh, and there he revealed himself to Solomon through his word. Shalom.
Shalom. Now the reading of 1 Samuel chapter 4. And the word of Samuel came to all Israel. Now Israel went out against the Philistines to battle and pitched beside Ebenezer. And the Philistines pitched in Aphek. And the Philistines put themselves in array against Israel. And when they joined the battle, Israel was smitten before the Philistines. And they slew of the army in the field about 4,000 men. And when the people came to the, I'm sorry, and when the people were come into the camp, the elders of Israel said, wherefore has Yah smitten us today before the Philistines? Let us fetch the ark of the covenant of Yah out of Shiloh unto us, that when it cometh among us, it may save us out of the hands of our enemies. So the people sent to Shiloh, that they might bring from thence the ark of the covenant of Yah of hosts, which dwelleth between the cherubims. And the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, were there with the ark of the covenant of Elohim. And when the ark of the covenant of Yah came into the camp, all Israel shouted with a great shout, so that the earth rang again. And when the Philistines heard the noise of the shout, they said, what meaneth the noise of this great shout in the camp of the Hebrews? And they understood that the ark of Yah was come into the camp. And the Philistines were afraid, for they said, Elohim is come into the camp. And they said, woe unto us, for there has not been such a thing heretofore. Woe unto us! Who shall deliver us out of the hands of these mighty Elohims? These are the Elohims that smote the Egyptians with all the plagues in the wilderness. Be strong and quit yourselves like men, O ye Philistines, that ye be not servants unto the Hebrews, as they have been to you. Quit yourself like men and fight. And the Philistines fought, and Israel was smitten, and they fled every man into his tent. And there was a very great slaughter, for there fell of Israel 30,000 footmen. And the ark of Elohim was taken, and the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, were slain. And there ran a man of Benjamin out of the army, and came to Shiloh the same day with his clothes rent, and with earth upon his head. And when he came, lo, Eli sat upon a seat by the wayside watching, for his heart trembled for the ark of Elohim. And when the men came into the city and told it, all the city cried out. And when Eli heard the noise of the crying, he said, what meaneth the noise of this tumult? And the man came in hastily and told Eli. Now Eli was 98 years old, and his eyes were dim, that he could not see. And the man said unto Eli, I am he that came out of the army, and I fled today out of the army. And he said, what is there done, my son? And the messenger answered and said, Israel is fled before the Philistines, and there has been also a great slaughter among the people. And thy two sons also, Hophni and Phinehas, are dead, and the ark of Elohim is taken. And it came to pass when he made mention of the ark of Elohim that he fell from off the seat backwards by the side of the gate, and his neck brake, and he died. For he was an old man and heavy, and he had judged Israel 40 years. And his daughter in law, Phinehas' wife, was with child, near to be delivered. And when she heard the tidings that the ark of Elohim was taken, and that her father in law and her husband was dead, she bowed herself and travailed, for her pains came upon her. And about the time of her death, the woman that stood by her said unto her, fear not, for thou hast borne a son. But she answered not, neither did she regard it. And she named the child Ichabod, saying, The glory is departed from Israel, because the ark of Elohim was taken, and because of her father in law and her husband. Then she said, the glory is departed from Israel, for the ark of Elohim is taken. So concludes the reading of 1 Samuel, the fourth chapter. Tori, you want to? Oh, you're not at home yet, are you? Okay.
Hey, Mike, you want to take 11? I mean, 5. I could just start reading. Chapter 5.
If you're not tired, may I read it? I mean, if you just want to, that's fine. But I said, let me read mine before I go to sleep.
Oh, you could take 5 if you want to.
I would like to. Thank you. And the Philistines, I'm sorry. First Samuel chapter 5. And the Philist oh we. And the Philistines took the ark of Elohim and brought it from Ebenezer unto Ashdod, I'm sorry. When the Philistines took the ark of Elohim, they brought it into the house of Dagon and set it by Dagon. And when they of Ashdod arose early on the morrow, behold, Dagon was fallen upon his face to the earth before the ark of Yah. And they took Dagon and set him in his place again. And when they arose early on the morrow morning, behold, Dagon was fallen upon his face to the ground before the ark of Yah. And the head of Dagon and both the palms of his hands were cut off upon the threshold. Only the stump of Dagon was left to him. Therefore, neither the priest of Dagon nor any that come into Dagon's house tread on the threshold of Dagon in Ashdod unto this day. But the hand of Yah was heavy upon them of Ashdod, and he destroyed them and smote them with emerods, even Ashdod and the coast thereof. And when the men of Ashdod saw that it was so, they said, the ark of the Elohim of Israel shall not abide with us, for his hand is sore upon us and upon Dagon our Elohim. They sent therefore and gathered all the lords of the Philistines unto them, and said, what shall we do with the ark of Elohim of Israel? And they answered, let the ark of Elohim of Israel be carried about unto Gath. And they carried the ark of Elohim of Israel about thither. And it was so that after they had carried it about, the hand of Yah was against the city with a very great destruction. And he smote the men of the city, both small and great, and they had emerods in their secret parts. Therefore they sent the ark of Elohim to Ekron. And it came to pass, as the ark of Elohim came to Ekron, that the Ekronites cried out, saying, they have brought about the ark of the Elohim of Israel to us, to slay us and our people. So they sent and gathered together all the lords of the Philistines and said, send away the ark of the Elohim of Israel and let it go again to his own place, that it slay us not and our people. For there was a deadly destruction throughout all the city. The hand of Elohim was very heavy there. And the men that and the men that died not, and the men that died not were smitten with the emerods, and the cry of the city went up to heaven. That was a short one, wasn't it? So conclude the reading.
Chapter 6. The ark of Yahweh had been in the land of the Philistines for 7 months. The Philistines called upon the priests and the sorcerers, saying, what shall we do about the ark of Yahweh? Inform us how we should send it back to its place. They replied, if you are sending back the ark of Elohim of Yasharal, you must not send it back empty-handed, but you must certainly send back a guilt offering to him. Then you will be healed, and you will realize why his hand would not turn away from against you. So they said, what is the guilt offering that we should send back to him? They answered, according to the number of Philistine governors, 5 golden images of hemorrhoids and 5 golden mice, for the same plague is upon all of you and upon your governors. Make your images of hemorrhoids and your images of mice which are demolishing the country, and give them as homage to the Elohim of Yasharal. Perhaps he will alleviate his hand from upon you and your gods in your land. Why should you harden your hearts as Egypt and Pharaoh hardened their hearts? Did it not happen when he mocked them? They had to send the Israelites forth, and they left. So now take materials and make one new wagon, and take 2 nursing cows upon whom a yoke was never placed, and tie the cows to the wagon, and send their calves back home from behind them. Then take the ark of Yahweh and place it onto the wagon. Hold up. And put the golden objects that you are sending back to him as a guilt offering in a box at his side. Send it forth, and it will go. Then you will see if it ascends by the road to its boundary towards Beth Shemesh. Then it was he who brought it upon us all this great evil. But if not, we will know that his hand did not afflict us, but it was all by chance that this befell us. The men did so. They took 2 nursing cows and tied them to the wagon and secured their calves at home. They placed the ark of Yahweh into the wagon, along with the box and the golden mice and their images and hemorrhoids. The cows set out on the direct road, on the road to Beth Shemesh. On a single road did they go, lowing as they went, and they did not veer right or left. The governors of the Philistines went behind them until the border of Beth Shemesh. The people of Beth Shemesh were reaping the wheat harvest in the valley, when they raised their eyes and saw the ark, and they rejoiced to see it. The wagon came to the field of Joshua of Beth Shemeshite, and stopped there, where there was a large rock. They chopped the boards of the wagon and offered up the cows as an elevation offering to Yahweh. The Levites had unloaded the ark of Yahweh and the box that was with it, in which were the golden objects, and placed them upon the large rock. The people of Beth Shemesh offered up elevation offerings and slaughtered feast offerings on the day to Yahweh. The 5 Philistine governors saw this and returned to Ekron on that day. These are the golden hemorrhoids that the Philistines sent as a guilt offering to Yahweh. For Ashdod 1, for Gaza 1, for Ashkelon 1, for Gath 1, for Ekron 1, and golden mice corresponding to the number of all the Philistines' cities of the 5 governors, who ruled from fortified cities until the open village, until the great morning, upon which they placed the ark of Yahweh, which to this day is in the field of Joshua, the Beth Shemeshite. And he smote some of them of Beth Shemesh, because they peered disrespectfully into the ark of Yahweh. He struck them among the 70 men. He struck among them 70 men, 50,000 men. The people mourned because Yahweh had smitten the people with a great blow. And the people of Beth Shemesh said, who can possibly stand before Yahweh, this holy Elohim? To whom among us can the ark ascend? Then they sent emissaries to the inhabitants of Kiriath Jearim, saying, the Philistines have returned the ark of Yahweh. Come down and bring it up until yourselves. Shalom, Aziyahu. Chapter 7. Yeah, we're in chapter 7 of 1 Samuel.
Did
You
you
gotta
want
say,
me to read it or you want to read that one also?
um,
Tell me what you choose.
what happened?
No, I just said tell me what you choose.
I'll take 7.
Okay.
So the men of Kiriath Jearim came and brought up the ark of Yahweh, and they brought it to the house of Abinadab on the hill, and they designated Eleazar his son to guard the ark of Yahweh. From the time the ark was stationed at Kiriath Jearim, there ensued many days. There were 20 years, during which the entire house of Yasharal was drawn after Yahweh. Samuel said to the entire house of Yasharal, saying, if you are returning to Yahweh with all your hearts, then remove the foreign gods and the Ashtaroth from your midst, and direct your hearts to Yahweh, serving him alone. Then he will rescue you from the hand of the Philistines. Him alone. They missed that. So the children of Yasharal removed the Baalim and the Ashtaroth, and served Yahweh alone. Then Samuel said, gather all of Yasharal to Mizpah, and I will pray to Yahweh for you. So they gathered at Mizpah. They drew water and poured it out before Yahweh, and fasted on that day. They said there, we have sinned to Yahweh. And Samuel judged the children of Yasharal at Mizpah. The Philistines heard that the children of Yasharal had gathered together at Mizpah, and the governors of the Philistines came up against Yasharal. The children of Yasharal heard and were afraid of the Philistines. The children of Yasharal said to Samuel, "Do not be silent from crying on our behalf to Yahweh, our Elohim, that he save us from the hands of the Philistines." Samuel took a suckling lamb and offered it up entirely as an elevation offering to Yahweh. Samuel cried out to Yahweh on behalf of Yasharal, and Yahweh answered him. Samuel was offering up the elevation offering when the Philistines approached for the battle with Yasharal. Yahweh then thundered with a great noise on that day against the Philistines and confounded them, so that, so that they were defeated by Yasharal. The men of Yasharal went out of Mizpah and pursued the Philistines, striking them down until beneath Bethkar. Samuel then took one rock and placed it between Mizpah and the cliff and called it Ebenezer, the rock of help, saying, "Yahweh helped us until here." The Philistines were humbled and no longer continued to enter the borders of Yasharal, and the hand of Yahweh was against the Philistines all the days of Samuel. The cities that the Philistines had taken from Yasharal reverted to Yasharal from Ekron to Gath, and Yasharal rescued their surrounding areas from the hand of the Philistines. Furthermore, there was peace between Yasharal and the Amorite. Samuel judged Yasharal all the days of his life. He would travel year after year, circling the Bethel, Gilgal, and Mizpah, and judging Yasharal in all these places. Then he would return to Ramah, for his home was there, and there he would judge Yasharal, and there he built an altar to Yahweh. You could take 8.
Were you talking to me,
Yeah,
brother?
you might
So
fall asleep soon. You can get it up top.
okay, hold on just a moment. All right, this is First Samuel chapter 8. And it came to pass when Samuel was old, and he made his son judges. I gotta start over. And it came to pass when Samuel was old that he made his sons judges over Israel. Now the name of his firstborn was Joel, and the name of the second Abiah. They were judges in Beersheba. And his sons walked not in his ways, but turned aside after lucre, and took bribes and perverted judgment. Then all the elders of Israel gathered themselves together and came to Samuel unto Ramah, and said unto him, Behold, thou art old, and thy sons walk not in thy ways. Now make us a king to judge us like all the nations. But the thing displeased Samuel when they said, Give us a king to judge us. And Samuel prayed unto Yah. And Yah said unto Samuel, Hearken unto the voice of the people in all that they say unto thee, for they have not rejected thee, but they have rejected me, that I should not reign over them. According to all the works which they have done since the day that I brought them out of the land of Egypt unto this day, wherewith they have forsaken me and served other Elohims, so do they also unto thee. Now therefore hearken unto their voice. Howbeit, yet protest solemnly against them, and show them the manner of the king that shall reign over them. And Samuel took all the words of Yah unto the people that asked of him a king. And he said, This will be the manner of king that shall reign over you. He will take your sons and appoint them for himself, for his chariots, and to be his horsemen, and some shall run before his chariots. And he will appoint him captains over thousands and captains over fifties, and will set them to ear his ground and to reap his harvest, and to make his instruments of war and instruments of his chariots. And he will take your daughters to be his confectionaries, and to be cooks and to be bakers. And he will take your fields and your vineyards and your olive yards, even the best of them, and give them to his servants. And he will take the tenth part of your seed and of your vineyards and give to his officers and to his servants. And he will take your men servants and your maid servants and your goodliest young men and your donkeys and put them to his work. He will take the tenth of your sheep, and ye shall be his servants. And ye shall cry out in that day because of your king, which ye shall have chosen you. And Yah will not hear you in that day. Nevertheless, the people refused to obey the voice of Samuel. And they said, Nay, but we will have a king over us, that we also may be like all the nations, and that our king may judge us and go out before us and fight our battles. And Samuel heard all the words of the people, and he rehearsed them in the ears of Yah. And Yah said to Samuel, Hearken unto their voice, and make them a king. And Samuel said unto the men of Israel, Go ye, every man, unto his city. So concludes the reading.
I'll take 9 and 10. Mike, you can take 11, probably 11 and 12.
Do I take 13 and 14? Just asking. I don't have to, but just asking. Can you hear me?
Now you sound like you really want to read. You really want to read, so you can take 13 through 16 if you don't mind that.
Oh, 13 through. I was thinking, okay, you're going to take two. I was thinking we were going to take two, but I do want to read because I want to get it in and I like reading. You know that. I'm still
All right.
sleeping. But I do like reading. Okay, so you want me to read where we stopped at. So I
Yeah.
take 13 and 14 is what you said?
Yeah. Yeah. You can do that.
Okay, 13 and 14. I got you.
All right. Chapter 9. There was a man of Benjamin whose name was Kish, son of Abiel, son of Zeror, son of Becharath, son of Aphiah, son of a distinguished Benjamite, a mighty man of valor. He had a son named Saul who was exceptional and goodly. No one in Yasharal was handsomer than he. From his shoulders up, he was taller than any of the people. One day the donkeys of Kish, Saul's father, were lost, and Kish said to Saul, his son, "Please take one of the attendants with you. Arise and go, search for the donkeys." He passed through Mount Ephraim, and he passed through the land of Shalisha, but they did not find them. They passed through the land of Shalim, but they were not there. And he passed through the land of the Benjamite, but they did not find them. They came to the land of Zuph, and Saul said to his attendant who was with him, "Come, let us return, lest my father stop thinking about the donkeys and worry about us." But the attendant said to him, "Behold, now there is a man of Elohim in this city, and the man is esteemed. Everything he says is certain to occur. Let us go there now. Perhaps he will tell us which is our road upon which we should travel." Saul replied to his attendant, "Behold, if we go, what shall we bring to the man? For the bread is gone from our vessels, and we have no gift to bring to the man of Elohim. What do we have with us?" The servant spoke up once more to Saul and said, "Behold, I have a quarter of a silver shekel with me. I will give it to the man of Elohim, and he will tell us about our way." Formerly in Yasharal, this is what someone said when he went to inquire of Elohim: "Let us go to the seer," for the prophet of today was formerly called the seer. Saul said to his attendant, we're in chapter 9, verse 10 right now, Tori. Saul said to his attendant, "You have spoken well. Come, let us go." So they went to the city where the man of Elohim was. As they were climbing the ascent to the city, they encountered some maidens going out to draw water. And they said to them, "Is this where the seer is?" They answered them, saying, "It is. Behold, he is just ahead of you. Hurry now, for he came to the city today, for their people are bringing a feast offering today at the high place. As you enter the city, you will find him before he ascends to the high place to eat. For the people will not eat before he comes, since he blesses the offering. Only afterwards do the invited guests eat. Now go up, for you will find him as surely as it is day." So they ascended to the city. As they were entering the city, behold, Samuel was coming out towards them to go up to the high place. Now Yahweh had revealed in Samuel's ear one day, before Saul had come, saying, "At this time tomorrow I will send a man to you from the land of Benjamin. You shall anoint him to be ruler over my people, Yasharal, and he will save my people from the hand of the Philistines. For I have seen the distress of my people, since his cry has come before me." When Samuel saw Saul, Yahweh spoke up to him, "This is the man, this is the man of whom I said to you, this one will rule over my people." Saul approached Samuel inside the city gate and said, "Tell me, please, which is the house of the seer?" Samuel answered Saul, saying, "I am the seer. Go up before me to the high place, and you shall eat with me today. I will send you away in the morning, and I will tell you whatever is in your heart. As for your donkeys, which have been lost to you now 3 days, do not concern yourself over them, for they have been found. Besides, to whom does all the desirable property in Yasharal belong, if not to you and to all your father's family?" Saul answered, saying, "But I'm only a Benjamite, and am from the smallest of the tribes of Yasharal. And furthermore, my family is the youngest of all the families of the tribe of Benjamin. Why then have you spoken to me this way?" Samuel then took Saul and his attendant and brought them into the chamber. He gave them a place at the head of the invited guests, who were some 30 men. Samuel said to the cook, "Bring the portion that I gave you, about which I told you. Keep it with yourself." So the cook lifted up the thigh piece with what was attached to it and placed it before Saul. Samuel said, "This is the set aside portion. Put it before yourself. Eat, for it was reserved for you for the feast time when I told the cook about the people I had invited." So Saul ate with Samuel on that day. When they descended from the high place to the city, he spoke with Saul on the rooftop. They arose early the next morning, and at daybreak Samuel called Saul to the roof, saying, "Arise, I will send you off." So Saul arose, and the two of them, he and Samuel, went outside. As they were going down at the edge of the town, Samuel said to Saul, "Tell the attendant to go on ahead of us." So he passed ahead. "You stand here now, and I will let you hear the word of Elohim." Hey, Tori, you want to take 10? If you can't read, I'll just keep going. All right, chapter 10. Then Samuel took a flask of oil and poured some onto Saul's head, and he kissed him. He said, "Indeed, Yahweh has anointed you as ruler over his heritage. When you leave me today, you will encounter two men near Rachel's tomb at the border of Benjamin and Zelzah. They will tell you that the donkeys that you went to seek were found, and that your father has abandoned the matter of the donkeys and has begun to worry about you, saying, 'What shall I do about my son?' Then you will travel beyond there and come to the plain of Tabor, where you will be encountered by three men on their way to worship before Elohim at Bethel, one carrying 3 kids, one carrying 3 loaves of bread, and one carrying a container of wine. They will greet you and give you 2 breads, which you should take from them. After that you will arrive at the hill of Elohim, where the Philistine commissioners are stationed. It shall be that when you arrive at the city, you will encounter a band of prophets descending from the high place, and before them players of lyre, drum, flute, and harp, and they will be prophesying. The Spirit of Yahweh will then pass over you, and you will prophesy with them, and you will be transformed into another person. After these signs come upon you, do for yourself to prepare for kingship as best as you can, for Elohim is with you. Then you shall go down to Gilgal ahead of me. Behold, I will go down to you to offer burnt offerings, to slaughter peace offerings. You shall wait for 7 days until I come to you, and I will inform you what you are to do." As soon as Saul turned away to depart from Samuel, Elohim transformed him with a new heart, and all these signs came about on that day. They arrived there at the hill, and behold, a band of prophets was opposite him. The Spirit of Elohim passed over him, and he prophesied among them. All those who had known him from yesterday and before then saw that, behold, he was prophesying along with the prophets. And they said to one another, "What is this that has happened to the son of Kish? Is Saul also among the prophets?" A man spoke up from there and said, "And who is their father?" It thus became an aphorism. "Is Saul also among the prophets?" Then he stopped prophesying and arrived at the high place. Saul's uncle said to him and his attendant, "Where did you go?" He replied, "To look for the donkeys. But when we saw that they were gone, we went to Samuel." Saul's uncle said, "Tell me now what Samuel said to you." Saul answered his uncle, "He told us that the donkeys had been found, but he did not tell him about the matter of the kingship which Samuel had spoken." Samuel gathered the people to Yahweh at Mizpah. He said to the children of Yasharal, "Thus saith Yahweh, the Elohim of Yasharal, I brought Yasharal up from Egypt. I rescued you from the hand of Egypt and from the hand of all the kingdoms that oppress you. Today you have rejected your Elohim, who saved you from all your calamities and troubles, and you said to him, 'Only place a king over us.' Now stand before Yahweh according to your tribes and your thousands." Samuel then brought all the tribes of Yasharal near, and the tribe of Benjamin was singled out. Then he brought the tribe of Benjamin near according to his families, and the Mitrit family was singled out. Eventually Saul, son of Kish, was singled out. They searched for him, but he was not found. They then asked Yahweh further, "Has the man arrived here as yet?" And Yahweh replied, "He is hidden among the baggage." They ran and took him from there, and he stood in the midst of the people. He was taller than any of the people from his shoulder upward. Samuel said to all the people, "Have you seen the
Need
one
me to
whom Yahweh
read
has
some too?
chosen?" What's up?
Need me to read some too?
Oh no, I'm almost done. I'm almost done 10.
All right.
I said you can get you got 11. I'm not done yet. Samuel said to all the people, "Have you seen the one whom Yahweh has chosen? That there is none like him among all the people?" And all the people shouted, saying, "May the king live." Samuel then told the people the protocol of the kingship. He wrote it in a book and placed it before Yahweh. Then Samuel sent away all the people, everyone to his home. Saul too went to his home, to Gibeah, and with him went all the army of those whose heart was inspired by fear of Elohim. But base men said, "How can this person save us?" They ridiculed him and did not bring him a tribute, but he remained mute. You could take 11, Mike.
All right. Samuel verse.
In chapter 11.
All right. Samuel chapter 11. Um, Ne, Nehasa, the Amorite, went up and besieged, um, Jab, Jabah, the Gilead, and all the, men of Jah, uh, Bashar to him to make a treaty with us, and uh, we will subject to you. But Man, Manasseh the Amorite respond, I will make a treaty with you. According on the con, according on the condition, I gouge out the right eye of every one of you, and so bring we bring disgrace on all Israel. The elder of Jabba just say to him, give us 7 days as give us 7 days as we send messengers throughout Israel. If anyone come to rescue us, we will we will surrender to you. Verse 4, for the messengers came to by Barah of Saul and reported these treatments to the people. They all wept aloud. Just then Saul was returning from the fields and behind his oxen, and he asked, "What is the wrong with anyone? What's wrong with anyone? Why are you weeping?" Then he repeated to him what the man of Jab- Jabesh had said. Then saw her their words. The spirit of Yahweh came powerfully upon him, and he and he burned with anger. He took a he took a pair of oxen, cut them into pieces, and sent the pieces by the messengers throughout Israel, proclaiming, "This is what this is you what will be done to the oxen of anyone who does not follow Saul and Samson. And Samuel." Then Yahweh terror, then terror of Yahweh fell on the people. They came out of they came out together as one. Then Saul mustered them to Bazak, the man of Israel, numbered 300,000, and Judah, thousand, those of Judah, 30,000. They told the messengers who had who had came, say to the man of Just Jeshbosh Galeh, by the time the sun is hot tomorrow, they will be rescued. Then the messengers went and reported this to the man of Jeshurun. They were elected. we- we- They were elected. They said to the Amorites, "Tomorrow will be surrendering to you, and you will do to us with whatever you like." Verse 11. The next day Saul separated his men into the divides during the last watch over watch of the night. They broke into the camp of the Amorites and slayed them until the heat of the day. Those who survived were scattered, so that no 20 of no two of them were left together. For the people then said to Samuel, who was it that asked Saul reigned over us? Turn those men over to us, so we may put them to death. Saul said, "No one will be put to death today, for this day Yahweh has rescued us." Verse 14. Then Samson said to the people, "Come, let us go to Gilgal, and there renewing the kingship." So all the people went to Gilgal and made Saul king in the presence of Yahweh. There they sacrificed fellowship offerings for Yahweh, and Saul and all the Israelites held a great celebration. Shalom.
Hey, Tori, you go to read?
Yeah, what chapter I need?
Go ahead, take 12 and 13. I don't know if you're reading, but you're on mute if you are.
Yeah, my bad. I was just pulling it up. Okay, here we go. All right, start at chapter 12. All right. And Samuel said unto all Israel, Behold, I have hearkened unto your voice and all that ye said unto me, and have made a king over you. And now, behold, the king walketh before you, and I am old and gray headed. And behold, my sons are with you, and I have walked before you from my youth unto this day. Here I am, witnesses against me before the Lord, and before his anointed. Whose ox have I taken? Or whose ass have I taken? Or whom have I defrauded? Or whom have I oppressed? Or whose hand have I taken a ransom to blind my eyes therewith? And I will restore it you. And they said, Thou hast not defrauded us, nor oppressed us, neither hast thou taken aught of any man's hand. And he said unto them, The Lord is witness against you, and his anointed is witness this day, that ye have not found aught in my hand. And they said, He is a witness. And Samuel said unto the people, It is the Lord that made Moses and Aaron, and that brought your fathers up out of the land of Egypt. Now therefore stand still, that I may plead with you before the Lord concerning all the righteous acts of the Lord, which he did to you and your fathers. When Jacob was coming to Egypt, then your fathers cried unto the Lord, and the Lord sent Moses and Aaron, who brought you forth your fathers out of Egypt, and they were made to dwell in this place. But they forgot the Lord their God, and he gave them over into the hand of Sisera, captain of the host of Hazar, and into the hand of the Philistines, and into the hand of the king of Moab, and they fought against them. And they cried unto the Lord and said, We have sinned because we have forsaken the Lord, and have served the Balaam and the Ashtoreth. But now deliver us out of the hand of our enemies, and we will serve thee. And the Lord sent Jerubbaal and Bedan, and Jephthah, and Samuel, and deliver you out of the hand of your enemies on every side, and ye dwelt in safety. And when ye saw that Nahash, the king of the children of Ammon, came against you, you said unto me, Nay, but a king shall reign over us, when the Lord your God was your king. Now therefore behold the king whom ye have chosen, and whom ye have asked for, and behold, the Lord hath set a king over you. If ye will fear the Lord and serve him, and hearken unto his voice, and not rebel against the commandment of the Lord, and both ye and also king that reign over you, but be followers of the Lord your God. But if ye will not hearken unto the voice of the Lord, but rebel against the commandment of the Lord, then shall the hand of the Lord be against you, and against your fathers. Now therefore stand and see this great thing which the Lord will do before your eyes. It is not wheat harvest today. I will call unto the Lord that he may send thunder and rain, and ye shall know and see their wickedness is great, that ye have done in the sight of the Lord in asking you a king. So Samuel called unto the Lord, and the Lord sent thunder and rain that day. And all the people greatly feared the Lord and Samuel. And all the people said unto Samuel, Pray for thy servants unto the Lord thy God, that we die not, for we have added unto all our sins this evil, to ask us a king. And Samuel said unto the people, Fear not. Ye have indeed done all this evil. Yet turn aside from the following the Lord, but serve the Lord with all your heart. And turn ye not aside, for then shall ye go after vain things which cannot profit nor deliver, for they are vain. For the Lord will not forsake his people for his great name's sake, because it hath pleased the Lord to make you a people unto himself. Moreover, as for me, far be it from me that I should sin against the Lord in season to pray for you, but I will instruct you in the good way and the right way. Only fear the Lord and serve him in truth with all your heart. For consider how great things he hath done for you. But if ye shall still do wickedly, ye shall be swept away, both ye and your king. That concludes chapter 12. Going to chapter 13. Saul was years old, and when he began to reign, and 2 years he reigned over Israel. And Saul chose him 3,000 men of Israel, whereof 2,000 were with Saul in Michmash, in the mount of Bethel, and 1,000 were with Jonathan in Gibbethah, Benjamin. And the rest of the people he sent every man to his tent. And Jonathan smote the garrison of the Philistines that was in Geba, and the Philistines heard of it. And Saul blew the horn throughout all the land, saying, Let the Hebrews hear. And all Israel heard say that Saul had smitten the garrison of the Philistines, and that Israel also made himself odious with the Philistines. And the people were gathered together after Saul to Gilgal. And the Philistines assembled themselves together to fight with Israel, 30,000 chariots and 6,000 horsemen, and people as the sands which is on the seashore in multitude. They came up and pitched in Michmash, eastward of Bethaven. When the men of Israel saw that they were in a strait, for the people were distressed, then the people did hide themselves in caves, and in the thickets, and in the rocks, and in holes, and in pits. Now some of the Hebrews had gone over Jordan to the land of Gad and Gilead. But as for Saul, he was yet in Gilgal, and all the people followed him trembling. And he tarried 7 days according to the set time that Samuel had appointed. But Samuel came not to Gilgal, and the people were scattered from him. And Saul said, Bring hither to me the burnt offering and the peace offerings. And he offered the burnt offering. And it came to pass that, as soon as he had made an end of offering the burnt offering, behold, Samuel came, and Saul went out to meet him, that he might salute him. And Samuel said, What hast thou done? And Saul said, Because I saw that the people were scattered from me, and that thou camest not within the days appointed, and that the Philistines assembled themselves together against Michmash. Therefore said I, Now will the Philistines come down upon me to Gilgal, and I have not entreated the favor of the Lord. I forced myself therefore, and offered burnt offerings. And Samuel said to Saul, Thou hast done foolishly. Thou hast not kept the commandment of the Lord thy God, which he commanded thee. For now would the Lord have established thy kingdom upon Israel forever. But now thy kingdom shall not continue. The Lord hath sought him a man after his own heart, and the Lord hath appointed me to be prince over his people, because thou hast not kept that which the Lord commanded thee. And Samuel arose and got him up from Gilgal and Gibbethah Benjamin. And Saul numbered the people that were present with him, about 600 men. And Saul and Jonathan his son, and the people that were present with them, abode in Gibbethah Benjamin, but the Philistines encamped in Michmash. And the spoils came out of the camp of the Philistines in 3 companies. One company turned unto the way of that leadeth to Ophrah, the other land of Shoal, and another company turned away to Bethhoron. And another company turned away of the border that looketh down upon the valley of Zibeon toward the wilderness. Now there was no smith found throughout all the land of Israel, for the Philistines said, Lest the Hebrews make them swords or spears. But all the Israelites went down to the Philistines to sharpen every man his plowshare, and his coulter, and his axe, and his mattock. And the price of the filling was a pim for the mattocks, and for the coulters, and for the forks with 3 teeth, and for the axes, and to set the goals. So it came to pass in the day of battle that there were neither sword nor spear found in the hand of any of the people that were with Saul and Jonathan. But with Saul and Jonathan his son was there found. And the garrison of the Philistines went out unto the pass of Michaelis. That concludes chapter 13.
Adia, you want to take 14, 15? You said you sleep.
Mm-mm. I was, but I was supposed to read 13 and 14. I mean, 12 and 13. But I'll take 14 and 15 if it's okay.
Oh, my bad.
Okay.
You
I
want me to
think
take
he
15?
forgot. No, I
What you?
think he forgot. I can take 14, and then if you guys, because I know the men like to read too, and I don't want to take over, so I can read 14. And if somebody want to read 15 and 16, what do you think?
But you got that reading voice though.
I love to read. I don't know about the voice, brother, but I
Take
love
the
to
chapter, sister. Take the
read.
chapter.
Okay, 14. I sure will. Now it came to pass upon a day that Jonathan, the son of Saul, was unto the young man that bare his armor. Now it came to pass upon a day that Jonathan, the son of Saul, said unto the young man that bare his armor, come and let us go over to the Philistines' garrison that is on the other side. But he told not his father. And Saul tarried in the uttermost part of Gibeah under a pomegranate tree, which is in Micron. And the people that were with him were about 600 men. And Ahiah, the son of Ahitub, Ichabod's brother, the son of Phinehas, the son of Eli, Yas, priest in Shiloh, wearing an ephod. And the people knew not that Jonathan was gone. And between the passages by which Jonathan sought to go over unto the Philistines' garrison, there was a sharp rock on the one side, and a sharp rock on the other side. And the name of the one was Boziz, and the name of the other Sinnah. The forefront of the one was situate northward over against Michmash, and other southward over against Gibeah. And Jonathan said to the young man that bare his armor, come and let us go over into garrison of these uncircumcised. It may be that Yah will work for us, for there is no restraint to Yah to save by many or by few. And his armor bearer said unto him, do all that is in thy heart. Turn thee. Behold, I am with thee according to thy heart. Then said Jonathan, behold, we will pass over unto these men, and we will discover ourselves unto them. If they say thus unto us, tarry until we come to you, then we will stand still in our place and will not go up unto them. But if they say thus, come up unto us, then we will go up, for Yah has delivered them into our hand, and this shall be a sign unto us. And both of them discovered themselves into the garrison of the Philistines. And the Philistines said, behold, the Hebrews come forth out of the holes where they have hid themselves. And the men of the garrisons answered Jonathan and his armor bearer and said, come up to us, and we will show you a thing. And Jonathan said unto his armor bearer, come up with after me, for Yah has delivered them into the hands of Israel. And Jonathan climbed up upon his hands and upon his feet, and his armor bearer after him. And they fell before Jonathan, and his armor bearer slew after him. And that first slaughter, which Jonathan and his armor bearer made, was about 20 men. Within it were a half an acre of land, which a yoke of oxen might plow. And there was trembling in the host, in the field, and among all the people. The garrison and the spoilers, they all trembled, and the earth quaked. So there was a very great trembling. And the watchmen of Saul and Gibeah of Benjamin looked, and behold, the multitude melted away, and they went on beating down one another. Then said Saul unto the people that were with him, number now, and see who is gone from us. And when they had numbered, behold, Jonathan and his armor bearer were not there. And Saul said unto Ahiah, bring hither the ark of Elohim, for the ark of Elohim was at that time with the children of Israel. And it came to pass while Saul talked unto the priests that the noise that was in the host of the Philistines went on and increased. And Saul said unto the priest, withdraw thy hand. And Saul and all the people that were with him assembled themselves, and they came to the battle. And behold, every man's sword was against his fellow, and there was a very great discomfort. Moreover, the Hebrews that were with the Philistines before that time, which went up with them into the camp from the country round about, even they also turned to be with the Israelites that were with Saul and Jonathan. Likewise, all the men of Israel, which had hid themselves in Mount Ephraim, when they heard that the Philistines fled, even they also followed hard after them in the battle. So Yah saved Israel that day, and the battle passed over unto Behaven. And the men of Israel were distressed that day, for Saul had adjured the people, saying, Cursed be the man that eateth any food until evening, that I may be avenged on my enemies. So none of the people tasted any food. And all there the land came to wood, and there was honey upon the ground. And when the people were coming to the wood, behold, the honey dropped. But no man put his hand to his mouth, for the people feared the oath. But Jonathan heard not when his father charged the people with the oath. Wherefore he put forth the end of the rod that was in his hand, and dipped it in the honeycomb, and put it in his hand to his mouth, and his eyes were enlightened. Then answered one of the people and said, Thy father straitly charged thee the oath, saying, Cursed be the man that eateth any food this day. And the people were faint. Then Jonathan, my father has troubled the then said Jonathan, My father has troubled the land. See, I pray you, how my eyes have been enlightened, because I tasted a little of this honey. How much more, if haply the people had eaten freely today of the spoil of their enemies which they found? For had there not been had there not been now a much greater slaughter among the Philistines? And they smote the Philistines that day from Michmash to Ajalon, and the people were faint, or very faint. And the people flew upon the spoil, and took sheep and oxen and calves, and slew them on the ground, and the people did eat with the blood. Then they told Saul, saying, Behold, the people sin against Yah, and that they eat with the blood. And he said, Ye have transgressed. Roll a great stone unto me this day. And Saul said, Disperse yourselves among the people, and say unto them, Bring me hither every man his ox, and every man his sheep, and slay them here, and eat, and sin not against Yah in eating with the blood. And all the people brought every man his ox with him that night, and slew them there. And Saul built an altar unto Yah. The same was the first altar that he built unto Yah. And Saul said, Let us go down after the Philistines by night, and spoil them unto the morning light, and let us not leave a man of them. And they said, Do whatsoever seemeth good unto thee. Then said the priest, Let us draw near hither unto Elohim. And Saul asked counsel of Elohim, Shall I go down after the Philistines? Wilt thou deliver them into the hand of Israel? But he answered him not that day. And Saul said, Draw ye near hither, all the chief of the people, and know and see wherein this sin has been this day. For as Yah liveth, which saveth Israel, though it be in Jonathan my son, he shall surely die. But there was not a man among the people that answered him. Then said he unto all of Israel, Be ye on one side, and I and Jonathan my son will be on the other side. And the people said unto Saul, Do what seemeth good unto thee. Therefore Saul said unto the Yah Elohim of Israel, Give a perfect lot. And Saul and Jonathan were taken, but the people escaped. And Saul said, Cast lots between me and Jonathan my son. And Jonathan was taken. Then Saul said to Jonathan, Tell me what thou hast done. And Jonathan told him and said, I did but taste a little honey with the end of the rod that was in my hand, and lo, I must die. And Saul answered, Elohim do so, and more also, for thou surely shalt die, Jonathan. And the people said unto Saul, Shall Jonathan die, who has wrought this great salvation in Israel? Elohim forbid. As Yah liveth, there shall not one hair of his head fall to the ground, for he has wrought with Elohim this day. So the people rescued Jonathan, that he died not. Then Saul went up from following the Philistines, and the Philistines went to their own place. So Saul took the kingdom over Israel and fought against all his enemies on every side, against Moab, against the children of Ammon, against Edom, and against the king of Zobah, and against the Philistines. And whithersoever he turned himself, he vexed them. And he gathered a host and smote the Amalekites, and delivered Israel out of the hands of them that spoiled them. Now the sons of Saul were Jonathan, and it is that Ishui and Melchishua, and the name of his two daughters were these. The name of the first was Merab, and the name of the younger Micah. And the name of Saul's wife was Ahinoam, the daughter of Ahimaaz. And the name of the captain of his host was Abner, the son of Ner, Saul's uncle. And Kish was the father of Saul, and Ner the father of Abner was the son of Abiel. And there was sore war against the Philistines all the days of Saul. And when Saul saw any strong man or any violent man, he took him unto himself. So readeth the law. So conclude the reading.
I finished it over 15 and 16.
Okay.
We head to bed after this one. Samuel said to Saul, Yahweh sent me to anoint you as king over his people, over Yasharal. So now hear the sound of Yahweh's words. So said Yahweh, master of legions. I remember what Amalek did to Yasharal, the ambush he emplaced against him on the way, as he went up from Egypt. Now go and strike down Amalek, and destroy everything he has. Have no pity on him. Kill man and woman alike, infant and suckling alike, ox and sheep alike, camel and donkey alike. Saul had all the people summoned, and he counted them through lambs. 200,000 infantrymen, and the men of Judah were 10,000. Saul came to the city of Amalek, and he fought them in the valley. Saul said to the Kenite, Go, withdraw, descend from among the Amalekite, lest I destroy you with them. For you acted kindly to all the children of Yasharal when they went up from Egypt. So the Kenite withdrew from among Amalek. Saul struck down Amalek from Havilah to the approach to Shur, which is alongside Egypt. He captured Agag, king of Amalek, alive, and the entire people he destroyed by the edge of the sword. Saul, as well as the people, took pity on Agag, on the best of the sheep, the cattle, the fatted bulls, the fatted sheep, and on all that was good, and they were not willing to destroy them, but the inferior and wretched livestock they did destroy. The word of Yahweh then came to Samuel, saying, I have reconsidered my having made Saul king, for he had turned away from me and has not fulfilled my word. Samuel was aggrieved by this, and he cried out to Yahweh the entire night. Samuel arose early in the morning to meet Saul. It had been told to Samuel, saying, Saul came to the Carmel and set himself up for a place for an altar. He turned and descended to Gilgal. When Samuel came to Saul, Saul said to him, Blessed are you to Yahweh. I have fulfilled the word of Yahweh. Samuel said, And what is the sound of the sheep in my ears and the sound of the cattle that I hear? Saul said, I brought them from the Amalekite, for the people took pity on the best of the sheep and the cattle in order to bring them as offerings to Yahweh, your Elohim, but we have destroyed the remainder. Samuel said to Saul, Desist, and I shall tell you what Yahweh spoke to me last night. He said to him, Speak. Samuel said, Is this not so, that though you may be small in your own eyes, you are the head of the tribes of Yasharal, and Yahweh has anointed you to be king over Yasharal? Yahweh sent you on the way, and he said, Go, destroy the sinners. Amalek and wage war with him until you have exterminated him. Why did you not obey the voice of Yahweh? You rushed after the spoils, and you did what was evil in the eyes of Yahweh. Saul said to Samuel, But I did hear the voice of Yahweh, and I did walk the path on which Yahweh sent me. I brought Agag, king of Amalek, and I destroyed Amalek. The people took sheep and cattle from the spoils, the best of that which was to be destroyed, in order to bring offerings to Yahweh, your Elohim, in Gilgal. Samuel said, Does Yahweh delight in elevation offerings and feast offerings, as in obedience to the voice of Yahweh? Behold, to obey is better than a choice offering, to be attentive than the fat of rams. For rebelliousness is like the sin of sorcery, and verbosity is like the iniquity of idolatry. Because you have rejected the word of Elohim, he has rejected you as king. Saul said to Samuel, I have sinned, for I have transgressed the word of Yahweh and your word, for I feared the people, and I hearkened to their voice. But now, please forgive my sin and return with me, and I will prostrate myself to Yahweh. Samuel said to Saul, I will not return with you, for you have rejected the word of Yahweh, and Yahweh has rejected you from being king over Yasharal. Samuel then turned away to leave, but Saul grabbed the hem of his tunic, and it tore. Samuel said to him, Yahweh has torn the kingship of Yasharal from you upon this day, and has given it to your fellow, who is better than you. Moreover, the eternal one of Yasharal does not lie and does not relent, for he is not a human that he should relent. He said, I have sinned. Now please honor me in the presence of the elders of my people, and in the presence of Yasharal. Return with me, and I shall prostrate myself to Yahweh your Elohim. So Samuel returned after Saul, and Saul prostrated himself before Yahweh. Samuel then said, Bring me Agag, king of Amalek. Agag went to him in chains, and Agag said, Alas, the bitterness of death approaches. Samuel said, Just as your sword made women childless, so shall your mother be childless among women. And Samuel severed Agag before Yahweh in Gilgal. Samuel went to Ramah, and Saul went up to his home at Gibeath Shaul. Samuel never again saw Saul until the day of his death, for Samuel mourned over Saul, but Yahweh had reconsidered his making Saul king over Yasharal. Chapter 16. Yahweh said to Samuel, How long will you mourn over Saul, when I have rejected him from reigning over Israel? Fill your horn with oil, and go forth. I shall send you to Jesse the Bethlehemite, for I have seen a king for myself among his sons. But Samuel asked, How can I go? If Saul finds out, he will kill me. So Yahweh said, Take along a heifer, and say, I have come to bring an offering to Yahweh. Invite Jesse to the feast. I will then tell you what to do, and you shall anoint for me the one whom I shall tell you. So Samuel did as Yahweh had spoken, and he arrived in Bethlehem. The elders of the city hurried nervously toward him, and one of them said, Do you come in peace? And he answered, Peace. To bring an offering to Yahweh have I come. Prepare yourselves and join me at the feast. And he invited Jesse and his sons, calling them to the feast. And it was upon their arrival that Samuel saw Eliab. He said, Surely before Yahweh is his anointed one. But Yahweh said to Samuel, Do not look at his appearance, or at his tall stature, for I have rejected him. For it is not as man sees. Man sees what his eyes behold, but Yahweh sees into the heart. Jesse then called Abinadab and brought him before Samuel. But he said, Yahweh has not chosen this one either. Then Jesse brought Shammah, but Samuel said, Yahweh has not chosen this one either. Jesse presented his 7 sons before Samuel, but Samuel said to Jesse, Yahweh has not chosen these. Samuel said, Are these all the boys? And he said, The youngest one is still left. He is tending the sheep now. So Samuel said to Jesse, Send and bring him, for we will not sit to dine until he arrives here. He sent and brought him. He was ruddy, with fair eyes, and a pleasing appearance. Yahweh then said, Arise and anoint him, for this is he. Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed him in the midst of his brothers, and the spirit of Yahweh passed over David from that day on. Then Samuel arose and went to Ramah. The spirit of Yahweh departed from Saul, and he was tormented by a spirit of melancholy from Yahweh. Saul's servant said him, Behold now, a spirit of melancholy from Elohim torments you. Let our Lord tell your servants who are before you that they should seek a man who knows how to play the harp, so that when the spirit of melancholy from Elohim is upon you, he will play the harp with his hand, and it will be well with you. So Saul said to his servants, Seek now for me someone who plays well, and bring him to me. One of the young servants spoke up and said, Behold, I have seen a son of Jesse, from the Bethlehemite, who knows how to play, is a mighty man of valor and a man of war, who understands the matter, and is a handsome man, and Yahweh is with him. Saul's messenger said to Jesse, and said, Send me David your son, who is with the sheep. Jesse took a donkey laden with bread, a jug of wine, and 1 kid, and sent it with his son David for Saul. David came to Saul and stood before him. He loved him very much, and he became his armor bearer. Saul sent to Jesse, saying, Let David stand before me, for he has found favor in my eyes. And it happened that whenever the spirit of melancholy from Elohim was upon Saul, David would take the harp and play it with his hand, and Saul would feel relieved, and it would be well with him, and the spirit of melancholy would depart from him. And that's the end of chapter 16. And that concludes this portion. We're gonna finish up the rest of Samuel tomorrow. Samuel 1. Anybody got anything to say about these chapters?
I thought they were excellent. I really did, but I don't have much to say on them.
Yeah, I wish Devanya was here. She be going.
Was she?
Oh, oh, she be going.
Good. Yeah.
She be seeing. I don't really be. People don't really be seeing.
Yeah. I think it's I don't know. It's good. You know, we went through so much. The sons dying, you know, Eli's son, was not Hopni and Phinehas, and him dying because he was old and heavy, and you know, the glory departing from Israel because of his disobedience, really. And part of that was him allowing his sons to eat the fat of the Lord. It was something they were doing, and of course, with the women at the temple door, and it was just a lot. It's a lot going. He wouldn't kill what Yah told him to. He saved stuff alive for himself. I was hoping to get into it, but that probably be tomorrow, where you know he consults with the witch, right? Is that the one coming up tomorrow?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. See,
All that wickedness.
what do you think it was the difference between him? Just asking. What do you think was the difference? And this is posted to the room. What's the difference? Do you think between the difference of Samuel and Eli? Because Samuel's sons were wicked too. They did some horrible little things too. Now they weren't going as far as I know with nobody at the temple door, but they were not doing what they were supposed to be. These were Samuel's sons. So what was the difference why y'all you know, pretty much killed Eli's sons in that war, allowed them to be killed, versus Samuel's son that you don't see anything really happening to them.
Did,
Anybody got anything
didn't
like
Sam was dying in the war with him?
Sam? Say it again.
Oh, you talking? Oh no, that was Saul. Never mind, that was Saul. I'm talking about Saul's son.
I'm talking about Eli the priest, because remember the people were upset because they said those sons were wicked. Remember, because Eli's sons was going with the women at the door of the tabernacle, while who was it? Samuel's son, they were wicked too. The people complained about his son. That's their whole reason they gave. Now, I don't know if that was their reason, but that's the reason they gave for wanting to have a king, remember? And Yah told them, said, no, they didn't reject you, Samuel. They rejected me because remember, they told Samuel about his two sons. Well, was it Hopni and Phinehas? Eli's son, they were wicked too. But what was the difference why Yah slew them and did not slay what's his name? Samuel's son. This is posted to the room. If there's anybody that have any um, suggestions or reasons, what's the difference?
Was Eli a prophet?
He was a priest. Same as Samuel, because remember, Eli is the one that helped to raise Samuel. Remember, that's the one that his mother Hannah gave him to. She lent him to Yah all the days of his life, but Eli was the one he was under.
It was probably just because Samuel was more. I think it was he had a bigger role, just like how David went off, but he didn't really like he should have been put to death for the adultery and sending dude to get murdered, but he didn't really suffer that like a normal person would have. Probably just because the anointing on him he had, just like
Mhm.
Samson broke a few vows I think before he got his haircut, but the power didn't leave until that final vow was broken. So it's like they're just probably on a different level. I think the anointing gave them the extra leeway, I guess, or something like that.
But Eli's sons died the same way, did the exact same thing as Samuel's sons did. Like neither one of them had any did wickedly. But I also feel like that was part of predestined because Samuel wasn't, or at least it doesn't state that he was from the line of Aaron. And if you know as well, even afterwards, Samuel held on and did his job until David got in and reestablished the priesthood, or was the doc renewing that covenant to come in. So
Hmm.
I feel like he filled in and filled in a temporary role and even if his sons wasn't wicked, they still wouldn't have been able to carry on to do the things that needed to be done, especially getting the ark back, because they wasn't from that line of Aaron.
Hmm.
So it worked out that way.
Okay. I didn't know. I was just looking at because those sons were so disobedient. But my mind went to Eli too, because didn't Eli do something? Like, didn't Eli also eat of the thing that he wasn't supposed that was for Yah, whatever? Like, they was like some kind of way. I thought he did something, but maybe not. But it seemed like to me that Eli kind of dropped the ball. I have to go back and read it too. So I like what you guys said. I'm gonna try to study it because I really do want to know. And I think that makes a lot of sense, Tori. I think it does in Brother Saul. Brother Tori and Brother Saul. I don't know. I listen to you guys. Thank you. I was saying that seriously, guys. Thank you. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Oh no, it's okay. I was trying to make sure I heard you right about the other question you was asking about Eli.
Yeah.
Like,
I
what
wanted
was
to
it?
know, was Eli, did he do something? Because I get the feeling he did something too. Like, I know the boys was going with the girls at the temple door and they were like eating the thing before it was even ready, the offering and stuff. But didn't Eli do something? I can't remember, but it just seemed like vaguely in the corner of my mind, I remember something specific about Eli. One, I know that he didn't correct his children, he didn't say anything even though he did talk to him that we see. Y'all said, no, you didn't correct them. So maybe it was one of them slap on the hand thing. But I thought Eli did something else too.
Well, the narrative just says that he didn't do enough to chastise his sons for what they did. Like he had kind of mentioned it, but he didn't um, do much. He kind of just gave him a little like a pat on the hand or something, and it was like, oh, okay, well, you guys are hearing these things. Stop doing this, and it was told that like he didn't do enough. So it's like he felt like he neglected it. Like
That's what
we
I feel.
go back to let's go back to chapter 3. I think it's verse 13.
Okay.
Um First Samuel 3, is it 3:13? I remember somebody read it. Um First Samuel 3:13 or 14.
Did he say 3 or was it 13?
Let's see. Uh
Okay.
yeah, here it is. I'm starting at verse 11. Well, yeah, let's go to verse 7. Now Samuel did not yet know the Lord, neither was the word of the Lord yet revealed unto him. And the Lord called unto Samuel again the third time, and he arose and went to Eli and said, Here I am, for thou didst call me. And Eli perceived that the Lord had called the child. Therefore Eli said unto Samuel, Go lie down, and it shall be, if he call thee, that thou shalt say, Speak, Lord, for thy servant heareth. So Samuel went and lay down in his place. And the Lord came and stood and called as at other times, Samuel, Samuel. Then Samuel answered, Speak, for thy servant heareth. And the Lord said unto Samuel, Behold, I will do a thing in Israel, at which both the ears of every one that heareth it shall tingle. In that day I will perform against Eli all things which I have spoken concerning his house. When I begin, I will also make an end. For I have told him that I will judge his house forever for the iniquity which he knoweth, because his sons made themselves vile, and he restrained them not. And therefore I have sworn unto the house of Eli that the iniquity of Eli's house should not be purged with sacrifice nor offerings forever. So the Most High felt like he didn't do enough to check his children. And that's why he actually did it. Not necessarily that he did evil, but the Most High felt like that he didn't check his sons or did a good job enough to like try to actually prevent them from doing the perverse things. Because even if you read it earlier, he actually said, "I've heard all the things that you guys been doing." And like I said, he kind of just gave him a slap on the wrist for it. He didn't like really, check them. And so for that, that was the reason why he got it too, but he didn't get it as bad as his sons. Was you saying something, sister Adia?
Sound like she's snoring or
Yeah,
something.
she might have fell asleep. It's all good, but
That's
um,
what I
I'm
said.
close myself.
yeah, it's all good. I mean, I was just answering her question. That's why I saw. If anybody else sees something that probably missing something, yeah, I mean, feel free to let me know, or y'all read it and come back to it later. Definitely up. But that's the understanding that I got from that was the main reason because he didn't check his sons, and that's what the text says. I didn't find anything else as far as him actually doing a sin or thing. Because as far as you reading in the text, he was actually doing things in righteousness. It was his sons, and he didn't check his sons. And it's kind of feel like the same experience with Moses where the people was messing up and he interceded for them and they eventually actually was the root problem of him not getting in. Not saying that like he wasn't responsible for what he did, but I mean, that frustration led him going off and all. So and you see the same thing with Eli. Like his sons was wicked and he didn't stop them or according to the most high, he didn't do enough. So I ain't trying to be long winded when I say. But First Samuel 3 tells you about it. And I think even going above and towards the end of First Samuel chapter 2 kind of really starts it. But the translators added the chapters and verses to it. So in all honesty, most of it's like kind of a continuation. But yeah, they kind of broke it a little too early because really towards the end of chapter 2 and all the way down for chapter 3 should really be in the same chapter. It should go with each other because it's kind of follow through.
Yeah, she's asleep.
Yeah. So I guess you want to wrap it up then. So I know you said you was tired.
Yeah, I might hop in back in that Bible disciple room and just sit and listen for a little bit. Mm.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back in there too with them, and
Me too.
I'm probably gonna get to a point where I want to listen too. But you uh, like I said, it's always nice to sometimes really just listen. That's why I like sometimes being in the audience. Everybody always want to come up and debate and strife, but sometimes I get tired and I just want to hear the word and get this reading and you know.
Yeah, we might go over see if Devanya come in tomorrow and go over these chapters. See if she want to go over these chapters to start, cause she usually goes deep into deep into the breakdowns and stuff. So
Devon is in other. She in the other room.
yeah, no, I was hoping she'll be in it. We can probably talk about it tomorrow though, cause she always
Yeah,
brings something I've never seen before. Plus, you know the Hebrew, so she be seeing some things that the English says that doesn't really say.
Yeah, that's
Hmm.
good. I'm reading a book on biblical Hebrew and learning about the grammar of it right now, and definitely for sure notice a huge difference when you knowing the biblical Hebrew and able to read it and get to understand, especially when you learn the idiom of it and um, like the culture of things. It was a lot of things I've been able to see that makes more sense, especially the Daniel 9 with with all those things going on. When you see in the Hebrew, they actually separate all those, whether you want to call them weeks or years, like King James and other versions combine them all together, but in the Hebrew they actually separate them. So each of those time periods are for has its own prophecy fulfilling. So in being able to catch that made it like, oh, okay, now this makes more sense because it was broken up from wherever the Messiah being cut off to the building of the walls and things of that nature. So yeah, it really does help when you look into the actual language and stuff and be able to kind of check translators to see did they really do a good job or so much appreciated. But yeah, but I'm not trying to be long winded, y'all. I know everybody's sleepy. I appreciate everybody reading and opening up the space and allowing me to read.
Most deaf. Another thing I want to point out about that, which was with the Hebrew, like they pointed out that the angel Gabriel and Michael weren't named until Daniel. But if you actually read it in the language, it doesn't even call them that. It just says like an angel like God or something like that, and they just translate it to Michael to give him a name. So yeah, that's one thing that somebody pointed out. But yeah, y'all, we can get back into discussing this tomorrow from refresh. Mad tired, mad drained from the day, y'all. And yeah, finish up this Samuel. What time y'all good to bar?
Um, I'm semi I'm semi off work, but well, working from home or whatever, so it's a bit more got a bit more flexibility, but I guess damn, hold on, let me check. 'Cause I think Bible Disciples scheduled the room for tomorrow. Let me double check. Um,
Yeah,
'Cause
cause
I
we got
think you got a room scheduled too, right? About the Nazarite vow.
gonna go deeper into the meaning of that.
Okay. I don't see it because he had the room scheduled, but he decided to open it today. I'll ask him about it, but um, nothing really, So I guess we can go into that. That would be cool. I can come in that room. I'm pretty much for the most part free.
All right, bet we're gonna continue to reading probably earlier tomorrow, maybe like 4 or 5. Continue Samuel.
Okay, that's about probably either 5:30 or 6, depending on when you start from my time.
Yeah, I'm on East. I'm on Eastern.
Oh, you're on East. Okay, yeah. So you ahead. I'm on Pacific.
I think I'm on Easter. Mine's just it's
Yeah, you on Eastern, right?
mm-hmm.
You in you in Pennsylvania? Yeah, you Eastern.
All right, so we're gonna let Adia sleep before we wake her up. Or we can leave the room open and let people listen to her snore or something.
Yeah,
But
I mean, you do that or you want to end it. It's up to you.
nah,
Or
I'm gonna end it,
yeah.
I'm gonna end it. But yeah, I'm about to probably hop in another room and just listen to her sleep or something. If there's anything good going on.
Oh, I think Doc said he closed. 44 closed the room out. So damn. All right. Well, I get
Damn.
it.
All right, shit. All right, so
Well,
y'all
yeah.
All right. Shalom.
Shalom.
All right. Shalom, shalom.